Let's dive into today's hottest news and break it all down. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the strangest events happening around the world. From the Canadian Prime Minister's tears over Donald Trump's insults to a surprising incident where people started saying, "We are neither Danish nor Canadian, we are Greenlanders." We're also going to discuss Donald Trump's bizarre plans, the $53 billion project by Arab countries to rebuild Palestine, and Donald Trump's attempts to pull Vladimir Putin closer to himself while distancing him from China. So sit back and relax because we're about to take an exciting trip around the world to see what's really going on. No. Let's talk about the $53 billion project to rebuild Gaza. On March 5th, Arab leaders gathered in Cairo to decide on the future of Palestine. If we go back a little, Donald Trump had previously introduced a $50 billion plan to rebuild Gaza. However, what made it highly controversial was a video generated using artificial intelligence. In that video, giant statues of Donald Trump could be seen everywhere, and Benjamin Netanyahu was in the Gaza Strip, sipping a cocktail next to Donald Trump. The video was so bizarre that it sparked a massive backlash. Donald Trump's actual plan was to remove Palestinians from their land, relocate them to other countries, and then hand the region over to Israel. His goal was, as he put it, to remove all obstacles to progress and turn Gaza into a major commercial hub. However, this plan showed no respect for Palestinian rights and raised concerns among regional countries. Now, according to reports from the United Nations, more than 90% of the Gaza Strip has been destroyed, leaving the fate of 2 million people uncertain. This has prompted Arab countries to take action. Where is this $53 billion going to come from? And how is this plan supposed to be executed? The main portion of this funding is expected to come from wealthy Arab nations. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has pledged $15 billion, and the state of Qatar has committed $10 billion. The reason these countries are making such investments is that the future of Palestine directly impacts the entire Middle East. So, this isn't just a simple humanitarian aid effort. It's a strategic move to ensure regional stability. Apart from Arab countries, some global powers and the European Union may also contribute to this project. Additionally, some Asian countries, particularly the Islamic Republic of Iran and the People's Republic of China, could potentially assist. The European Union is expected to allocate around $5 billion for infrastructure projects. Of course, some European nations support Israel, but countries like Spain have consistently backed Palestine. The Islamic Republic of Iran may be one of the supporters of this project because it is interested in increasing its influence in the Middle East. The Islamic Development Bank and several Islamic financial institutions might also play a crucial role in funding. Another potential source of funding for this project is natural resources. Reports suggest that approximately 1.5 trillion cubic meters of natural gas reserves have been discovered off the coast of Gaza, which could generate about $1 billion in revenue annually. Now, the question remains, will this plan be successfully implemented? Several scenarios could unfold. First scenario. If the $53 billion is managed properly, it could create jobs, improve infrastructure, and even bring political stability to the region. Second scenario. The state of Israel might oppose the reconstruction of Gaza because it could strengthen Palestinian groups and shift the balance of power in the region. Third scenario. It's unclear how the United States and the European Union will react to this plan. If Western countries do not support it, Arab nations might struggle to execute the project on their own. Fourth scenario. If conflicts between Hamas and Fatah remain unresolved, this investment might not be as impactful as expected. As long as political disputes continue in Gaza, no economic or infrastructure investment will be sustainable in the long term. This is a massive project, and no government or private sector entity is willing to invest such a huge sum in an unstable region without clear guarantees. However, if an agreement is reached, resources are properly managed, and a two-state solution is implemented, then Gaza could transform into an advanced region, something similar to what Donald Trump referred to as a real Riviera. It may seem like wishful thinking at the moment, but international scenarios for Palestine's future are heading in this direction. Ultimately, Arab countries have held meetings about this issue, designed projects, and explain their plans to the public. Therefore, this discussion is of great significance. Now, let's move on to Donald Trump's strange tariffs and the incident in Canada. When we look behind the scenes, we see that the United States and Canada have always been major trade partners. The border between these two nations is the longest land border in the world, but in some areas, it is practically invisible, allowing people to cross easily. Until now, trade between these two countries had reached an unbelievable level, about $1 trillion. Interestingly, approximately 80% of Canada's exports and 55% of its imports are linked to the United States. These statistics show how deeply connected their economies are. However, everything has changed with Donald Trump's new tariffs. The Prime Minister of Canada called this move by the United States an economic war and announced retaliatory tariffs of 25% on $155 billion worth of American goods. As a result, Canadian supermarkets and stores started removing American products from their shelves. It reached a point where even the name Americano coffee was reportedly changed to something like Canadiano. The opposition party leader strongly criticized Donald Trump, stating that the president had stabbed America's closest ally in the back. He added, "Canada will respond, defend its people and economy, and always prioritize its interests." This tension disrupted the extensive economic relations between the two countries, damaged diplomatic ties, and even led to profanity-laden phone calls between officials. Eventually, at a press conference, the Prime Minister of Canada, overwhelmed by the pressure, could not hold back his tears. The issue did not stop at Canada. Donald Trump's protectionist economic policies also presented serious challenges for the People's Republic of China. After this incident, the Chinese government declared, "If the United States seeks war, whether a tariff war, trade war, or any other type of war, we will fight to the end." Now, Donald Trump isn't facing a small country like Volodymyr Zelensky's Ukraine. He's dealing with all of the People's Republic of China. That's why their response has been so firm. And honestly, they have a point. Policies like tariffs might seem logical at first sense. In theory, they encourage domestic consumption. However, when countermeasures and trade wars come into play, the country that imposed the tariffs often ends up suffering. In global trade, every action has a reaction. While such policies might initially seem beneficial to a nationalist American, in the long run, especially when major nations like Canada and the European Union get involved, the United States economy could take a serious hit. The more strained the United States' relationships with its allies become, the more it loses its advantages in global trade, ultimately leading to a weaker economy. The worse the relationships between the United States and its allies become, the more advantages it loses in global trade, ultimately leading to a weaker economy. However, this type of trade policy does not apply only to the United States, Canada, or China. The same conditions can be analyzed between the Islamic Republic of Iran and the Republic of Turkey. The Republic of Turkey is one of the most important trade partners of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and a large volume of essential goods enters the Islamic Republic of Iran through this country. However, the sanctions and economic policies of both countries have impacted this cooperation. If tariff policies between these two countries become stricter, or if customs barriers increase, a situation similar to what happened between the United States and Canada will occur. Trade will decrease, prices will rise, and ultimately, both sides will suffer losses. On the other hand, if the Islamic Republic of Iran and the Republic of Turkey can reach a stable economic agreement, just as some Arab countries seek regional agreements, they can benefit from free trade and an open economy, improving their economic conditions. In the end, as demonstrated by the trade war between the United States and Canada, restrictive trade policies may benefit a country in the short term, but in the long run, they harm all parties involved. Let's move on to the third and most sensitive part of the discussion. Does Donald Trump intend to create a rift between the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China? If we look at history, we have always witnessed tense relations between the United States and the Russian Federation. These two countries have never engaged in direct warfare, but they have played key roles in most of the world's conflicts. shaping the parties involved. However, recently, the United States has shown a completely different approach toward the Russian Federation, almost as if these two countries were old allies. First signs of this shift appeared on February 12th when Donald Trump had a 90-minute phone call with Vladimir Putin. After that, Donald Trump pressured Volodymyr Zelensky to accept a peace agreement and provided no security guarantees to Ukraine from the United States. Since then, Donald Trump has repeatedly called Volodymyr Zelensky incompetent and a dictator, even stating in the White House that Ukraine should never have started this war, despite it being clear who initiated the conflict. These statements were strikingly similar to what Vladimir Putin had previously said. In other words, Donald Trump was practically speaking Putin's language. Additionally, on the third anniversary of the Ukraine war, the United States voted in favor of the Russian Federation at the United Nations, refraining from condemning Moscow for its invasion of Ukraine. No W. Let's talk about Donald Trump's strategy and the statements made by United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He says that the Russian Federation's dependence on the People's Republic of China and the fact that Moscow follows whatever Beijing dictates is ultimately not a good situation for the United States, the European Union, or the rest of the world. In reality, the United States welcomes a rift between these two countries. But at the same time, this alliance is also dangerous for the United States because we are talking about two nuclear powers that have united against the United States. Of course, the People's Republic of China has also reacted strongly to this issue, declaring that the United States' efforts to create a division between the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation are doomed to fail. Both the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation have long-term strategies for their development and have structured their foreign policies accordingly. If we examine the trade figures between the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation from 2019 to 2024, we can understand why the United States is fueling these tensions. Economic cooperation between these two countries has grown significantly. However, the United States, in its effort to create a rift between the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China, faces a major challenge. This is because these two countries declared an unlimited friendship just before the Russian Federation's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, and after that, trade between them skyrocketed. The People's Republic of China is now the largest buyer of Russian oil. In 2024 alone, it purchased approximately $62 billion worth of oil from the Russian Federation, whereas this figure was much lower in 2021. After Western sanctions were imposed on Russian oil, the People's Republic of China seized the opportunity to buy more oil. However, it is not just about oil. In the field of high-tech exports, the People's Republic of China is considered a key partner for the Russian Federation. This includes everything from computer chips to semiconductors used in military weapons. In fact, Western sanctions against the Russian Federation have brought these two countries even closer together, strengthening them against Western economies rather than weakening them. This development came as a shock to the West because they had not anticipated such an outcome. The United States is forced to shift its approach toward the Russian Federation in order to restore balance. As you can see, a war in one part of the world does not just affect that region. It influences the entire global economy and even international alliances. Regarding the Islamic Republic of Iran, we can also analyze some potential effects of these developments. The Islamic Republic of Iran, which currently has a special relationship with the Russian Federation, is concerned about any changes in relations between Moscow and Beijing, increasing economic cooperation between the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation, especially in the energy sector, could present an opportunity for the Islamic Republic of Iran to serve as a connecting bridge between these two major economic powers. However, on the other hand, pressure from the United States on the relationship between the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China could create challenges for the Islamic Republic of Iran in securing energy resources and trade. These changes could significantly impact the energy policies of the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran, which is highly dependent on global energy markets, will likely strive to strengthen its relationships with the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China in order to bypass the Western sanctions that continue to be imposed on the country. As a result, the economic policies of the Islamic Republic of Iran will be directly influenced by global developments in relations between the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation. Additionally, As a Middle Eastern country that faces restrictions in its global interactions with the West, the Islamic Republic of Iran may find itself moving more toward closer alliances with the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China in order to mitigate global economic and political pressures on the country. Therefore, we may soon witness the strengthening of ties between the Islamic Republic of Iran and these two countries in various sectors. Well, friends, that was today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave your comments for me. And until the next video, I leave you in the hands of God. Take care.